Are you referring in particular to Jung Ike, that memorial with all the skulls and things like that? Yeah, yeah. I don't know exactly what my position is, but I know now the site itself is not being maximized for educational purposes. And although some Cambodians do visit it, by and large, it's mostly tourists who go there. And for Cambodians, it's not a place to mourn. It's not a place to remember or to be educated. And I would like for there to be that for them. And I'm not exactly sure how that can be created. But nobody who is in charge of that particular memorial, you know, I don't think has that as their agenda right now. So until that is part of their agenda, it's going to stay the same the way it is. In terms of what do I think about the current Prime Minister being a former Khmer Rouge, I think it's a big problem, and I think, you know, it's caused the delay of justice for the survivors because the government itself is more interested in preserving its own reputation and its image and staying in power, you know. Yes? I would say both, you know, in different ways. They obviously felt more emotionally connected to their family. They were able to be reminded, you know, what they missed about Cambodia and what they love about it. On the other hand, they can see how they have changed a lot and how Cambodia has changed a lot, and so the distance between the two have grown further and further apart. So I think both are true in different ways. I've been back 3 times, and yeah, I just interviewed those two Khmer Rouge who you saw in the film. I actually regret that I didn't try to interview somebody, you know, higher up in the chain of command. But I haven't done that. Whenever I go to Cambodia, I do try to kind of steer clear of the government itself. Even though I feel like I have a level of protection because I'm an American citizen, you know, you never know when they might trouble or something. So, back. Yeah, I do wish that they had told us earlier, and I feel like they didn't trust us with this information, or they didn't trust us to be mature enough to take it, because it would have helped to explain a lot of the dynamics in our family. Yes? It's really hard to measure that, but the sense that I'm getting is that a lot of Cambodians don't know what's going on, and so it really doesn't affect their lives. For those who do know what's going on and are following the news coverage, there's a lot of concern that, you know, is any justice going to be delivered at all? Because only 6 people are going to be tried, you know, for mass atrocities that killed almost 2 million people. Also, there have been a lot of allegations of corruption of the trial itself. People don't take a lot of stock in the Cambodian judicial system. So there are a lot of concerns, but at the very least, I'm grateful for the opportunity for the country itself to engage in this dialogue and attempt at least to understand and process this history. I don't know. They've certainly shown other films like mine, and I tried not to make it an overtly anti-government film at all. There's just that one line there that says that Hun Sen was, you know, a member of the Khmer Rouge. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Yes. Yeah. I would have to admit that it was a lot more meaningful to my dad than it was for me. I think mainly because, although I grew up going to the Buddhist temple, I'm not steeped in it in the way that he was. You know, he was a monk at one point in his teenage years and things like that. It was a pretty amazing experience for my dad. Afterward, he told me that, you know, I don't have any more duties for you as a father anymore, except for one. I just have to marry you off now, and then, like, all of my duties are relieved. So it was really moving to him. Okay, last question. Yeah, my parents are a lot less activisty, streaky than I am. Although I am taking them next weekend to Washington, D.C. for a Save Darfur Coalition memorial, where they're going to have people representing various survivor communities speaking in the park in front of the White House a little bit about their experience. So that's an opportunity for me to kind of like drag them on stage with me. And I understand why they're not like that. You know, their main goal in life when they came to this country was to raise these kids and to put them through college and make sure that their life was secure and stable. Justice is a secondary concern to them, or third or fourth, who knows. Okay, one more? Yeah, that's very, very hard. It's really easy to get discouraged, and a lot of times your gains are just so small that it's very easy to give up. There is a great letter that's pretty famous written by Thomas Merton, who is a Franciscan monk, and the title of the letter is something like Advice to a Young Activist, and he was writing to some anti-Vietnam War activists at the time. And his piece of advice is that as you engage in this kind of work, what will happen is that you will focus less on the issues and more on the people. And at the end of the day, it's the power of personal relationships that always saves everything. I try to keep that in mind. You know, the people that I'm helping, the interviews that I'm recording, the young people who are learning their family story for the first time. I try to focus on that, you know, as opposed to, you know, what congressmen we can influence, legislation can be passed, whatnot. So it's very easy to get discouraged, but if everybody got discouraged, then there would be no social change, you know. Yes. Yeah. I wish that we were more equipped and resourced to be able to, you know, kind of inoculate people from the various flashbacks or traumas that may occur afterwards. Unfortunately, we're not. I mean, I always have a list of mental health care providers if somebody requests one or wants one. Unfortunately, in the Cambodian community, there's a huge stigma against getting mental health help, but that really can be of service to them. A lot of the interviews that I get are sourced from mental health clinics. So for instance, in Connecticut, there's an organization called Khmer Health Advocates, and they're asking a lot of their patients if they want to contribute their story. So in that case, you know that this person is getting ongoing help. And the same with Lowell. The Meta Health Center is a partner in terms of, you know, that helps a little bit, but it's definitely not an ideal, you know, the most ideal situation. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your attention.